Okay, we're looking at drawing the 3D model for the flywheel of the Three Sisters engine. So first of all, we start off with a sketch, and we sketch on a plane and a simple circle, and we check on the drawing on the handout, and we see the diameter there is 150. And just kind of, we can add the circle in the center at the same time in this instance. There's a tolerance on it, but we'll keep it at just 25 nominal, and we do the tolerance when we get. So exit sketch, we'll extrude it. We can do just a standard, the drawing shows us that it's 13 millimeters thick, and okay on that. Alright, so let's save this here real quick. Okay, so we'll give it a part number 3S-01-001. Okay, and this is the flywheel. So the next component in the flywheel, we're just going to sketch in this space, and we're going to create the spokes. Okay, so we see that the spokes are 72 degrees, but the spokes are 6 millimeters thick. Okay, so we would have a challenge in that. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle. This is the outside arc of the spoke. Then we're going to draw another circle. That's the inside of the spoke, just like that. Okay, and then we see the spoke, as I mentioned, is 6 millimeters thick. So we're going to draw a line, but make sure the line you draw is off the center, is not in the center of the circle. Okay, so you can keep it a good distance away. And the same, another horizontal line. Actually, not a horizontal, another line at an angle like so. Okay, roughly that angle. And what we're going to do now is we're going to trim these back. So I'm going to use the trim command and the wee power trim. So I have the power trim selected. So you see that grey line, anywhere it touches, it's going to trim back. Trim back, trim back, trim back, trim back, and trim back. So that's kind of the segment. But again, it's right shape, but no size on it. So the next thing I'm going to do, is I need to add a wee center line as a reference. Okay, and I'm going to draw another center line up at an angle here. That first center line should be at an angle. I'll just delete that, and I can just for reference I'm going to draw another center line straight up. Okay, and I'm going to say this distance here is half the spoke, so it's 3 millimeters, and then this angle between the two construction lines I drew is 72 degrees. Okay, so that's the center line of the spokes, if you like. So this straight line I drew, or this real line I drew, I'm just going to select that, hold control and hold the center line and make the two parallel. Okay, and that will allow me to drag that line like so, and I'm going to put a smart dimension of it again. It's half the spoke, so it's going to be 3 millimeters, and it's important it's parallel to the 72 degrees. 72 degrees is perfect. Now all I do is put on my arc, which is diameter 130. 130 divided by 2, and the same with the center arc, and it is on the drawing, just looking here, it's it doesn't have a dimension. I'm just going to make it 25 for the moment. Okay, we can go back and change that if we need to. I think it's actually a bit smaller, maybe 20 would do for the moment. Alright, so that's the kind of one segment that will give us our spoke. So I'll accept that sketch. Now I go to my features, extrude cut, and through all, and hit OK. That's one segment done. All I do now is I have the bore in the middle, so I can go to my pattern command. I can go to circular pattern. My first square here is direction 1. I'm going to pick this inside cylinder or the outside cylinder. Okay, and then features and faces to pattern. So features to pattern, I can come in and select the cut. And there's going to be 5 of them at 72 degrees apart. So that's basically the part. So we're going to save that. I already have it saved. There's only one other component on it. I think there's a small chamfer, 45 by 2, and that part's actually 15 millimeters thick. So I'm going to change that thickness to 15, and on the top edge they had a chamfer of 2 millimeters. So we're going to select that and select 2. and I'm just going to leave it like that on the outside for the moment. So just before I save the part, I'm going to change its color. So I'm going to right click on the part and hit appearances, select the grey box, and just give the part a color. Okay, hit OK with that. We can assign materials maybe later on and hit save. So that's the model of the flywheel.